No fly zone. The sky can be conquered not only by wings, but also by wisdom and by your own two hands. Now you got me meowing. We're falling. What are you talking? The wind's too strong. My mask. We're falling. I'm holding on as tight as I can. You won't fall. Rathalos. The Rathalos is falling. The mask is covering my eyes. I can't see anything. Narcorn. Narcorn. Look what the Rathalos is charging toward. Toward what? We're about to crash. Hold on. Finally, my mask's back in place. We're gonna crash. Oop. That's suboptimal. My notes. My tail. Oh, fine. Thank heavens. Where are we? It's dark here. Corn? Norcorn? Are you still alive? I can only see half your body there. Norcorn, don't die. I'm okay. But could you stop tugging on my leg? I have a lamp in my equipment bag. Turn it on. Lamp? What's that? You mean this thing? Yeah, now flip the switch at the bottom. That's bright, but it's not hot at all. How do you do it? Another thing, my horn, it's stuck in this rock. Could you come help me out? Your horn's stuck in the rock? Hey, don't laugh. I'm on my way. I'm up from over there. Don't climb me. And definitely don't grab that. Here I am. Is this where you're stuck? Wham! Ow. My butt. Mr. Rathalos, did you see it? It went inside. The opening of this cave's too high up. It'd take us too much work to climb up without help. We need to find a way to signal Yato, but we can't. But we also can't lose track of the Rathalos. Wait. Where are we anyway? I was gonna ask Mew. The Rathalos went down the cave. And the cave only further down. Maybe it's connected to the one closer to the village. Looks like we'll have to head that way to check it out. Hey, Scholar, wait up. What's the rush? We need to hurry. There's so many mysteries. The laws of nature here aren't all that different from where we're from. But there are all these situations I can't wrap my head around. The Rathalos is acting way too oddly. Oddly? A new feeling mentioned something about it being abnormal too. I'll explain it to you as we walk. The Rathalos burrowed itself down here. Perhaps the cause of its odd behavior can be found here too. I swear this on the name of a firmer Royal Paleontology Scrivener's Scholar. I will get to the bottom of this. Norcorn, come check this out. I'm coming. Goodness, this stinks. Huh? Scholar, are these all animal carcasses, all shredded and torn apart by the Rathalos? Show beasts, horn beasts, fowl beasts. So many different beasts. Did it kill all these animals for food? Are these leftovers? No. A Rathalos bite can crush even bones. There's no way it would leave behind so many carcasses. They all look very complete too. They were killed, but there are no chew marks or signs of them having been eaten. Come, let's check out what is up ahead. Alright. How could this be? What did you find? The carcasses here have all been burnt to a crisp. They were killed and dragged all the way down here, but it still spat fire at them. There's no way it couldn't have eaten any of these. Is it angry? Look here. This, and this. Not one of them. It didn't eat a single one of them. Perhaps the Rathalos can't eat Terran creatures. Could that explain how it's abnormal? I don't know. Hunger can change its behavior, but it's hard to say for sure that's the reason. Why? I don't get it at all. Based on my observation data, Terran creatures follow the same growth patterns as where we're from. Besides, I eat the same food as you and there's nothing wrong with me, meow. This is just a guess, but what if it's not caused by the food, but the originum on its skin? You mean Rathalos caught erypathy? Look at that. What? Meow. Quick, help me get all these animals out the way. The dirt too. It stinks. Why can't you do it yourself? Well, you tricked me into holding that fin catching rod for you. This is payback. I'm mad. Mad, I'll tell you. Wait, cut it out. I think I know why there are all these traces of originum on the Rathalos' body now. Are you talking about the holes we've been digging? What could they possibly imply? These are tracks left behind by originum mining. The area underneath is most likely an originum mine. If this mine is why the villagers have been going so far to hide this cave from us, then that would explain everything. Wait, what do you mean? Meow exactly does this explain anything? Considering Higashi's current situation and its dwindling resources, a private originum mine that's hidden from the outside world could bring them piles of cash, even if all they do is sell crude ore. But if any outsiders, maybe even greater forces, were to find out about their hidden mine, it could very well get taken over by force. It might even put their lives in danger. So what you're saying is, originum is some kind of material that's found in the earth, and the villagers have been digging it up? That's right. And you people do that on a regular basis? Yep. As I recall, you said originum can cause an incurable disease called erypathy, or even a catastrophic disaster that tears even the land and sky apart. Exactly. So, why could you possibly want to dig it up? Because it's an energy source, I guess. Energy source? You can burn wood and oil for heat. You can boil water to propel machines. Can't you people do any of that for energy? I can't think of a good reason for willingly exposing yourselves to something so dangerous. What did the doctor say again? We Terrans use originum through originum arts. Thanks to the advancements in originum engine technology, originum became widely used as an industrial energy source, and in the past it was often used for casting arts. I don't know any arts though. How can I explain this to you with something else? Oh, hand me the light. What are you doing with it? Don't take it apart. You purred it out. Here, this is what I'm talking about. Huh? It's still lit up. Take a look at this. This is a battery. So it powers the light bulb up here. And that's how it's lit up. What does that have to do with originum? The battery has originum in it too. There's also this, what do you call it? Arts unit? That's the thing that turns the battery's originum into electrical currents that light up the light bulb. So it lights up because of originum? Not only that, the light bulb, the outer shell, and all the parts inside were mass-produced in a factory. Mass-produced? So when you make the same thing over and over on a large scale, take this exploration lamp. A huge factory can make over 1,000 of them in a day. 1,000? That's so convenient. Get the clothes all the villagers wear possibly may be made in these factories too. That's right. The factory uses machines to build these parts. And what's driving those machines is called an originum engine. And they need originum to function. That's how it is in most places here. The Terra's technology, and even its civilizations, are built on a foundation of originum. I guess that's about it. But our hunters don't have lamps. Or the kinds of clothes you wear. The lamp is convenient, I'll give you that. But even without something as dangerous as originum, we get by just fine. It should be possible to replace it with something else here too, shouldn't it? Are these hunters common where you guys are from? Of course. If we leave the Meowsters be, they could pose significant threats to the villagers' safety, and their livelihoods depend on the materials you get out of them. So, are all the hunts these hunters go unsafe? No. Most of the time there are dangers everywhere. You're more likely to fail a hunt than succeed. And there's only a very small number of truly skilled hunters. When they are up against truly tricky monsters, Meowst hunters end up losing their lives. Then our originum's actually not a whole lot different from your monsters. Right? What do you mean? Both originum and monsters are unpreventable threats, but they also give us the opportunity to survive. You probably won't see one, but catastrophes are actually very common here in Terra. Most people live in the nomadic cities, and each city can have tens of thousands of residents. When a catastrophe is about to strike, the entire city starts moving. A city with tens of thousands of residents. Moving? That sounds meowvelous. How do you move something that big? Originum. Only the energy hidden in Originum can move a nomadic city. No other energy source comes close. I can't believe this. We all definitely understand that using Originum can cause catastrophes, but when catastrophe strikes, if you want to survive, even if all you have nearby is a twig or a branch floating in a puddle, you're bound to grab it. It doesn't matter if it has thorns. That's the least of your worries. Before nomadic cities were invented, before we started using Originum at the scale we do now, many more people died from catastrophes. Terra sounds so scary. Those thorns may end up cutting your fingers, but a catastrophe is not going to end just because of your pain. You have no choice but to hold on, and hold on for dear life. And it doesn't matter how hard you look. Until you find a smooth tree branch that won't cut you, that's all you can do. It doesn't matter how difficult it all is. You just have to grit your teeth and live on. Norcorn, I can hardly call you smart just for this, but perhaps you have a point. Thinking about it now, the difficulties we face aren't all that different. The materials we need to forge weapons that can take on the fiercest beasts likewise come from fierce beasts. Behind that must be a countless number of sacrifices too. There are hunters who never return from their hunts, commission members who fall while exploring the new world, and plenty of scriveners who disappeared without a trace while observing dangerous creatures for data. Looks like no matter where you are, people are fragile, and the world is a cruel place. But even if all that suffering is inevitable, and you have to pay the price to survive, must innocent lives be sacrificed too? I've never heard of things like that where I'm from. Things like Originum, which makes the innocent suffer. They don't catch neuropathy because they wanted to. They won't even get to live without treatment. How could that possibly be right? Of course it's not right. Rat, so quick to answer. Which is why somebody has to step forward and take on the burden of showing everyone else the way forward. Hello? Is anybody there? What's that noise? Did someone just talk? Stop chatting. Look over here. I've been stuck in here for 3 days now. Could you come over and move this stuff blocking this door? She's asking us for help. Where are you? We're coming right away. Well, watch out. There's about to be another beast outbreak. Beast outbreak? You can more or less figure it out from the name, can't you? It's an outbreak of all the animals in the forest going berserk at once. I think I hear a familiar noise, too. I can hear it, too. It's not coming again, is it? Whenever you see a surge of animals here, you can bet they're all infected. Operator Norcorn, report your status. Can't reach him. The signal's too weak. Hashiwao. I prefer not to shoulder unnecessary burdens while on a mission, so if you can't keep up with my pace, please remain where you are or return to the camp. You fool. Who said I was traveling with you? If you're pursuing the Rathalos, then please don't leave my side without permission. I need to ensure your safety. You little... Pelico, keep going. So here's what happened. The hunter I was following had accepted a commission from a member of the royal family. They seemed to be in a bad mood and were looking for a Rathalos ruby to fashion into a brooch. A bad mood? You were hunting a Rathalos on such a whim? That client should be just considered an example. To return to my main point, I first spotted this Rathalos in a forest near a volcano. Right as I was about to catch up to it, I was suddenly swept away by a strange force. And by the time I made sense of things, I was already here. Do you remember what kind of force it was? Unfortunately, my memories of it are vague at best. A power capable of bringing over a Rathalos could be considered an even greater threat. But in the interest of time, please continue. I was still extremely unfamiliar with the environment here when I arrived, so I chose to continue tracking the Rathalos and discreetly observe its behavior. Based on what I've seen, it started behaving abnormally after it discovered a cave entrance and went inside. A cave entrance? Leading into the mountain? Precisely. Was there anything distinctive about it? Unfortunately, it appeared to be a regular cave from what I could tell, but the Rathalos did start behaving strangely after entering. I took a cursory stroll inside only to find the cave network is particularly complex, and my several attempts to locate the Rathalos were all in vain. My assumption is that it has occupied an area within the cave to build a nest, which should be a wide space near the entrance. Based on what we saw in the cave behind Roka village, these caves should all be interconnected, so it's no surprise the Rathalos showed up. There's one more thing I'd like to know. As you've seen, our previous fight with the Rathalos was not all that easy. In fact, you could call it difficult. We've yet to effectively deal any damage, so I find it hard to be optimistic about our next encounter. I fear we may have to pay a considerable price for victory. I understand. So what I want to ask, based on your knowledge of the Rathalos, how do we ensure a victory in our next battle? Or to put it another way, is there any way to improve our chances? It's hard to judge. Compared to a typical Rathalos, this one is highly agitated and shows a strong tendency to attack at the slightest provocation. Earlier, I noticed its senses have also improved, which is correlated with a change in its attack patterns. This is the basis for my assumption that its behavior is abnormal. Meow. Neither of us have flash bombs nor shock traps in our arsenal, so I am at a loss as to how to trap it. So you're saying our chances remain low? I do have some ideas on how to boost the damage we do to it. For I have observed, your Majesty seems to lack instruction on the use of your dual blades. Dual blades? You're referring to these strange pair of weapons? True. I do feel a lack of strength behind my blows when wielding them. These pair in your paws seem to be weapons from our world, and of extremely good quality. So you can at least rest assured they were crafted by one of our finest craftsmen. Is that so? Right? I can explain to you the key to using your dual blades. If you can manage to wield them correctly, you will be able to deal substantially more damage to the Rassalos. But, before that, my observations has led me to ask the critical question. Is it truly necessary to hunt it? You mean that we shouldn't kill it? My understanding is that powerful hunters are usually key to maintaining a balanced ecology. Hunting of any kind will have an effect, and the consequences must be carefully considered before any action is taken. According to my observations so far, the Rassalos' activity range is quite far from the village, so it does not pose a significant threat to them. And moreover, the ecology of this area seems to be quite unbalanced. The area is clearly overpopulated by herbivores, judging from the obvious damage to the forest vegetation. So the Rassalos' ability to keep the herbivores in check should be considered a positive. If I was back in my homeland and had already obtained my commission materials, I would choose not to hunt harmless monsters. To be clear, my mission isn't to hunt the Rassalos either, but to deal with another deadly threat, Eripathy, and our current clues point to the Rassalos as the source. The fate of the monster is irrelevant to me, as long as we can identify the source of the disease and eliminate the threat it poses to the village. You lot. So in order to determine the cause, we must... You lot! Your Majesty? Ignore him. It's all your fault. You. Raises hunting spear. It's all your fault. Kashiwao, what are you trying to do? Why? Why don't any of you listen to me? Why? You just had to break into the forest and run all around like a pack of brainless beasts. Just look at yourselves. You are powerless before that monster, and yet you still want to hinder me. Block my way. Chase after my quarry. And still you talk about wanting to protect whatever it is. But the truth is, that boy went missing because he didn't listen to me. And that monster is still alive and well. We're still in the early stages of figuring out countermeasures, so a failure or two shouldn't be unsurprising. What would you even know? Only trash like you would say it can't be done. And now you're saying you shouldn't hunt it at all. Hiding behind some nonsensical cowardly excuse. I suppose next you even want to rescue it from me. Yes? Now I understand. You're here to torture me, aren't you? And purposely torment me. An old man not long for this world. All because I still remember him. Remember the things you lot insist on forgetting. That's why you're torturing me like this. Just like you did to him. Strip my skin. Drain my blood. Break my ribs. Cut open my chest. Extract my marrow. Well, say something. Sorry. I have no idea where to start with that rant. Just put down your weapon and let's move on. We don't have time to waste on irrelevant small talk. Don't move. What can you even do? Be gone from my sight. Crawl back to wherever you came from. I'm ordering you. Get lost. Not happening. I will repeat myself. I have no reason to obey your orders. Nandayo? Why is this happening again? Unwilling to listen to even a single word of advice, yet still wanting to protect others. With your meager abilities? Self-righteous fool. All you can do is impose your will on others. No one needs your protection. Those who take action should suffer the consequences. They deserved what was coming to them. Everyone else should mind their own business. Fuzakeruna. You should have just stood by and watched. I'm the only one who can hunt that monster. I'm the only one who deserves to. If you dare take another step forward, I'll have you taste the tip of this spear. No, you won't. You don't have the guts to. Stop! What you say means little to me. That hunting spear in your hands, I barely see it as a threat. See? I've been approaching you, and yet your spear has not moved an inch. This is your last warning. Just give it up already. You can't do it. Since you insist on delaying my progress, I'll have to settle this with you in a way that will remove the possibility of future interference. What? Stop! If you really walk your talk, you would have disposed of me in Noir Corn while we were wounded, satisfying your desire to have the beast all to yourself. But you didn't. You. Don't come any closer. I can understand the reluctance to strike at your own kind. Since the beginning, I felt that all your actions were only to dissuade us. Not long ago, you even pushed me away from the Rathalos. You don't actually want us to be in danger. Nonsense! Stop! I'm warning you. This is the last time. To return to the subject of hunting, as a hunter, isn't your top priority to eradicate the threat your prey poses at the least possible cost? And yet, you've been fighting against such a huge predator for so long. Apparently you disagree. You've consistently refused my offers to work together, insisting on facing it alone despite your lack of ability. In the process, putting the safety of the entire village at risk, which clearly contradicts your attempts to protect us from harm. I'm starting to suspect that your Rathalos hunt is nothing more than a personal obsession. Damare! Judging at your expression, I must have hit the mark. Then I take that nothing you've done has actually been to eliminate the threat, but instead you've been blindly chasing it out of anger and remorse, which is, in a word, selfish. The way I see, you're not much of a hunter at all. That was my quarry all along. You're no hunter, so who are you to judge? Stop this. Just stop it already. If you wish to refute anything I've said, then just thrust forward that spear of yours, and you'll have everything you say you want. It's as simple as that. I'm right here, right in front of you. Come on. Kill me. What exactly is the source of your obsession, Kashiwao? Is it Akira Kashiwao? You. Where did you hear that name? I'm guessing that he's not in the village anymore, correct? What is his relation to you? You share a surname, so clearly more than friends. From the photo, he seemed younger than both you and the village headman, as well as a former hunter. His name is also etched onto the hunting spear you're holding. So, a relative? Stop talking. You keep referring to me in the plural. Is it because your image of him overlaps with me somehow? I'm guessing that he once went on a hunt against your advice, leading to irreparable consequences, including him leaving you somehow. Since then, you've regretted your decision and been haunted by the pain, and you can only vent your frustrations on the hunt. Tamare, you know absolutely nothing. I think I do, actually. It can be hard, being caught up in the past. But those emotions will only impair your judgment. Your obsessions will never change the past, and they will keep you from moving forward. But open your eyes and take a good look. Is this really the time to be rambling about the past to a stranger? If you can't bring yourself to kill me, then we should put aside our differences and work together on this hunt. I still trust you are a somewhat capable hunter, so if you agree, I'm willing to put this all behind us. And we can finally stop wasting time on this sort of nonsense. If she is ice cold. No. You don't know a thing at all. Akira is my son. He's already dead. 7 years ago on this day. On a night just like tonight, the mountains were filled with the cries of those beasts. I told him not to go, that those guys were asking for it. But no matter how much I warned him, he just kept saying, "No. I am a hunter of the village." He just kept saying that over and over before rushing out without looking back. Later, when I finally saw him again, it was far too late for him to say anything more. Do you know? If it weren't for his clothes and equipment, I wouldn't have recognized him at all. The sun was shining on his body, and yet his hands were so cold. I don't understand. My son. How did he end up like that? I saw them. Atarutaki. And the backs of those Bakayaro. I just knew it. They were all there when it happened. But they didn't do a thing. They just watched my son. So how could you possibly understand my pain? The tip of the spear is trembling so much now, as is his paw. His fingers are moving towards... That's... Careful, your majesty. He's about to shoot his spear. I caught it. Let go. I heard the sharp wind in my eardrums as beads of blood dripped down from small scratches on my ear. The spearhead was stuck in my left foot and half buried in the ground. When I turned around, I saw the old man's clouded, shaky eyes. How could I? I'm fine. Calm down. Stay away. No. It wasn't me. It's your own fault. You. And you. This is all of your fault. All of you. Kashiwa. Anguished gasping. I'm not sure what the sound effect for that is. Sorry. This was from the Rathalos earlier. Your Majesty, what's wrong? Why can't you stand? The situation... Leave me. After him, Palico. He shot her in the foot. What the hell? Bro got no chill.